Hello, everyone. It's Brenda Douglas, and I'm a real estate agent here in Prince George's County, Maryland. And I help people who are 50 and older buy a home, gracefully age in place, downsize, or right size into the perfect home. In this video, I want to share the difference between Prince George's County, Maryland, and Charles County, Maryland. Now, let me just say that I am 50 plus and proud, and so I've lived in each one of these counties for over 7 years, right? So I thought I'd put together a video to share the differences between the two counties, okay? And listen, I want to focus on some of the things that I encourage you to research when you're buying a home, right? I don't think you should ever buy a home without doing your research, right? So the differences in this video are going to be catered towards the items that I want you to research. For example, recreation. Also, the fact that stores, the grocery stores, in my opinion, different areas have different levels of customer service, right? So the stores and how they treat you in the stores, or how I don't know, the feeling that you get. And then also the home prices. I'm going to look at the home prices of one versus the other. The parks, including the dog parks. If you are dog lovers like I am, I have two small Mochi dogs, Maltese and Shih Tzu mixed. And you probably can hear one in the back. But anyway, I have two small dogs, and so a dog park is very, very important to me. So I'm going to discuss parks and what I've discovered in each one of the counties. Also the libraries, right? The community centers, right? So I'm going to talk about that. Senior centers, and whether or not they have senior centers. I'm going to discuss that. And then also, if you're the type of person like me who loves to be in a community where there are always events going on, like festivals and things of that nature, I love that. But there's a difference between, again, Charles County and Prince George's County, Maryland. So before I get started, though, if you have not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. And hit that like button if you like the content. And also look at some of my other videos that will be helpful. I'm actually going to link the research in neighborhoods video to this video. I give you some pointers on how you should research neighborhoods and why it's important to research neighborhoods. Believe it or not, research in neighborhoods, it affects your mindset. It affects your lifestyle, and it even affects your children, right? Because they have to deal with whatever's going on in the community, whatever's going on in the local schools. They are affected by that, right? So again, I encourage you to do your research. And so as part of that, I am going to help you by giving you some tips or some things that I've discovered from living in these two areas. I'm not going to talk to you from a real estate or realtor perspective. I'm going to talk to you as a person, a resident of both Prince George's County and a resident of Charles County. But also understand that, you know, my likes and what bothers me, what I consider safe, may not be the same for you. But it's good to have the information and lay it on the it's good. I like to lay the information on the table and let you decide, right? All right, so let's get started. Again, we're going to compare Prince George's County, Maryland to Charles County, Maryland. And for those of you who live in Prince George's County, Maryland and Charles County, Maryland, I'm going to encourage you to leave your comments, and I'm going to encourage you to help other people as well who is interested in moving where you are, wherever that may be, whether it's Charles County or Prince George's. All right, so we're going to start with Prince George's County, Maryland. And hopefully I can read my notes here, but we're going to start with recreation centers specifically in Prince George's County, Maryland. Prince George's County, Maryland has about 38 recreation centers, and these are standalone centers, so they're not housed in any schools. Typically they are standalone, and they will include like a picnic bench, pavilions where you can pavilions or shelters where you can perhaps have a family reunion or events. You can rent them out, and if I remember correctly, they run between 200 to 300, but you'll get a pavilion, you'll get barbecue grills beside it, and you can rent those out all year round. Also inside the community events, usually there is like a pool table, things like that for the children and adults to come in. Some recreation centers have a gym inside of it, with low cost memberships to be a part of the gym. The recreation centers oftentimes, in fact, I don't think I've seen one without a basketball court, an indoor basketball court. Also in Prince George's County, Maryland, their recreation centers, they have, again, I've mentioned the grills, they have ball fields where you can, play on the field or what have you. They have basketball fields, they have basketball courts. Some of them have, what is it called? The skateboard track or what have you. Skateboards. Anyway, so they have all kinds of ball fields at these recreations. And then they also have, when my son was younger, I don't know, since COVID, I don't know if they've started this back up again, but when my son was younger, I would take him to what was called Extreme Teens, right? And it usually happened on Saturday, and it was usually in the evening. And I would drop him off at this recreation center where they would be doing activities with the teens, right? And I think that's very, very important, because sometimes there'll be so much that you can do as a parent with your child when they're little. But then when they turn about 13, everything just starts to wear down. Like, you don't see a lot of activities for people who are 13 and older. So that's one of the things that I absolutely loved about the Prince George's County Recreation, was the fact that they had saw the need for teens to have something to do. And so they created that Extreme Teams. Now, and it was at each community center. So I would drop him off, and then about 2 hours later I would come back and get him, right? And then, like I said, they do all types of activities. They would lock the community center so they can be safe. And then they had people who were mentors or what have you, who were several of them who were there to instruct them and to help them do whatever they were doing. Anyway, like I said, since COVID, I don't know what's going on with that Extreme Teens, but I was so happy that, I was able to find something for him to do as he got older, right? Because I thought that was really sad that as he got older, things kind of died off. You didn't have all the classes and things of that nature that they had when they were little. So kudos to Prince George's County, Maryland, for that. The other thing about Prince George's County, Maryland Recreation is the fact that they have classes. They offer lots and lots of classes, whether it's swimming classes, whether it's arts and crafts, whether it's pottery or, things of that nature. What is that other one? The clay thing. I think that's the same thing, pottery. But you'd be amazed at the type of class, and all kinds of sports like archery and things of that nature. Anything that you can think of, they would have those type of classes at these recreation center. And there's actually a recreation guide that they give out here in Prince George's County, Maryland, that has all of the classes. So right now they probably have the fall, or getting ready to put out the fall edition. Whereas they probably had the summer, which probably had a lot more swimming, but they still do have swimming throughout the year because there are some indoor pools as well, right? So there's a recreation guide. Now what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to put the link to the recreation guide, or in the comments, right? So that you can see the different types of classes. They also have a website where you can sign up for the classes, and the classes can be anywhere from 15 on up, right? So you can sign up. And what I love about that is it connects me to the community, right? And I can learn a new skill, right? So I absolutely love that. That is Prince George's County, Maryland. They also have aquatic centers in addition to the recreation. One in particular I'm thinking of is PG Sports and Learning Complex, has multiple swimming pools indoors, and then that's a membership. So some of these places offer memberships within the the center, and again, it's a standalone type of thing. There are events that happen at both the community centers as well as the aquatic centers. The aquatic centers have a lot of sometimes they'll have open event where it's open to the public, right? Where you can go and then just kind of swim or what have you. And then also they have swim classes, swim lessons for people. That is in Prince George's County, Maryland. Guys who are living in Prince George's County, Maryland, if I missed anything regarding recreation, you might want to chime in right now and write it in the comments. Yeah, that's some things about the Prince George's County, Maryland recreation. Now moving on to Charles County, Maryland. Okay, so Charles County, Maryland, they have 21 community centers. Now, these community centers in Charles County, they are actually housed, most of them are housed inside of a school, right? So Benjamin Started is an example. Benjamin Started has a community center within the school. So most of their community centers, if not all of them, are housed inside of the school. And so they may give classes like basketball classes or some type of sport because it's within the school. I guess they use the gym. So that's one of the major differences between Prince George's County and Charles County, Maryland, is the fact that Prince George's has more standalone type of community centers, whereas Charles County has community centers within the school. The other thing is that Prince George's County, Maryland has a lot of classes that they offer in terms of recreation. And again, it can be anything from arts and crafts. It could be dance lessons. It could be swimming, things of that nature. There's so many of them. And again, I'm going to put the link in the description. And like I said, Charles County offers classes, but not as many. And then also, like I said, their community centers are housed in the they are housed inside these schools. Now, the other thing about Charles County is the fact that they do have neighborhood community centers, right? So they may have, like they have neighborhoods, right? Every place has neighborhoods, right? They have neighborhoods and there's a community center inside the neighborhood. And usually that community center has a pool. It has a sometimes it has a pool. It has, of course, the building that you can rent out for events and things of that nature. And if you live in the community, then that would help as well. In fact, I think they are priority. So they have neighborhood community events. And actually, Prince George's County, the community centers are within the neighborhoods as well. But I just believe that Prince George's County just has more. It offers more in terms of recreation. Now, Charles County does have what's called the Capitol Clubhouse, as well as some kind of elite gymnastics. So they have some things that are different from what Prince George's County, Maryland has. The Capitol Clubhouse in Charles County, Maryland is an ice skating ring. And they also have events, community events, such as the housing fair. They have that there. They have a housing fair in Prince George's County as well. But at the same time, in this Capitol Clubhouse, there's an ice skating rink, right? So if you ever want to learn how to ice skate, they do have public skate for you to go and do some ice skate. And sometimes schools rent it out, things of that nature. They have the skates just like at a rolling skate type of thing. You except you're skating on ice here at the Capitol Clubhouse, and then they do have aquatic centers in Charles County, Maryland, and like I mentioned, the gymnastics. If you have a child who's into gymnastics, then there's a gymnastics center in Charles County, Maryland. Again, even though they may not have as much, they do offer something, right, in terms of recreation that your family can enjoy. But keep in mind that Charles County has more single family homes than they do apartments. Now they do have apartments, but not as much as Prince George's County, Maryland, because actually Prince George's County, Maryland is Prince George's County is the sixth largest county in Prince George's County, Maryland, and it has a population of 95,000 people, whereas Charles County is the eighth largest county, and they have only about 167,000 people that live in Charles County. So Prince George's County is larger, and they have more to do there. They just do in terms of recreation. All right, guys, moving on to stores. Now, this is my personal opinion. When you are researching the neighborhood, one of the things you can do is go to stores in public places at night, different times a day. So you want to go several times a day, and you want to go different times a day. But to me, you want to look at, go to the stores and get a feel for the customer service. In my opinion, in the nicer neighborhoods, they're a little nicer, and that's just my opinion. So in terms of the stores versus Prince George's County versus Charles County, I think it just depends on what neighborhood you are in at the time. So you can go to Prince George's County, Maryland, and Charles County and kind of get the same feel. But it's just a matter of what it is that you like and what it is that you're looking for. Me personally, I don't want to be treated like a criminal when I go in the store. I don't want anybody following me. I don't want anybody to ask me to check my bag. As soon as they ask me to check my bag, I'm out of there. I'm not even going to waste your time with that. Right? So I think that it depends on the area, and I think both counties, you know, you may have better customer service than the other depending on the area. In my opinion, again, the nicer neighborhoods, the people at the stores are more relaxed. They're not as on edge, right? And there's some areas in Prince George's County where it's more hustle and bustle, right? There's more activity, there's more aggression, right? Whereas Charles County, in my opinion, they're more laid back. But I don't know, though. The population in Charles County is really, really growing. They're steadily building, and they're pushing them on back to La Plata, what have you. They're steadily building stores, movie theaters, shopping, all kinds of stuff is going on in Charles County. In fact, when I went out there a few months ago, I was very surprised. Like, where is this place? Like, it's so different. So they are constantly building out there. And so the population in Charles County is growing, right? So I think that's pretty interesting. All right, guys. So moving, let's go with parks next, right? Let's go with parks, right? Now, we've already mentioned the community centers that are in Prince George's County, Maryland. But the parks, on to the parks. The parks, the difference between Prince George's County, Maryland and Charles County, Maryland. We'll start with Prince George's County, Maryland. Prince George's County, Maryland has over 24 national parks and 77 state parks, right? And these parks have like walk-in paths and biking trails and fishing. You can go fishing in the ponds that they have. A lot of these parks have the little pond or some type of water view where you can either get close to the water and go fishing or just sit out and enjoy the day. And then also they have kayak renting and canoe. You can rent canoes in some of these parks. They offer camping. They allow camping and even overnight camping. And then, like I said, they have trails. So there are plenty of parks in Prince George's County, Maryland. Two of my favorite parks in Prince George's County, Maryland are actually three of them. Allen Pond Park. I love Allen Pond Park in Bowie. I love it. You know, when I'm bored, I go there. They have concerts there. Sometimes they have firework display. They always have events there. They have a dog park that's not far from there. They have a pond where people go fishing, sometimes just sit their chairs out there and just relax, whether they're single or a couple or a family. They have a toddler playground as well as the big size playground. They have the barbecue, of course, but they always have something going. Like, you're never alone when you go to Allen Pond Park, and then also Watkins Park. I like Costco Park as well, but not as much as I like Allen Pond Park and Watkins Park, only because they have, Watkins Park does not have a water. It doesn't have water that you can walk around, but Allen Pond Park in Bowie, Maryland has a pond where you can walk around. Watkins Park, what I love about that is they have a lot of trails that you can walk, and so again, you're never alone in these two at these two parks. There are always people out there walking and enjoying themselves, or just enjoying the community. So that's why those two are my favorite. And Watkins Park also has quite a number of events. So anyway, yeah, they have quite a number of events. Now, Prince George's County, Maryland, in terms of dog parks, they have over 20 dog parks. Now, let me just say that some of those dog parks, you have to pay a membership to even open the gate to get into them, right? They want to make sure your dog is registered, and then they give you a code. And you're not allowed to let other people in. But some of these dog parks, like, I don't like to go to any park where it's not there's not a lot of foot traffic. Like, I try to avoid those type of parks. I just don't like it. It makes me nervous, right? So I make sure that the park is heavily, where there are people out there all the time, right? So they have dog parks in Prince George's County, Maryland, quite a few of them. But like I said, some of them require a membership where you pay money in order to use or have access to the dog park. Like I said, there's one near Bowie where you don't have to pay a membership, and they have a smaller, this is the other thing about dog parks. They have a one side for the bigger dogs and another side for the little dogs. I personally don't like to mix my small dogs with the big ones. I'm like, get over there, stay over there. So I like that it's separated, and I like that I don't have to pay a membership. I can just bring my dogs out there and let them enjoy the company of other dogs to socialize them, right? Charles County, on the other hand, has 15 parks. And all of their parks as well have waters and trails and hiking and kayaking and things of that nature. Playgrounds. They also have playgrounds in Charles County as well. They just don't have as many parks, and I don't, you don't need to go to all the parks, but I'm just saying, if you want more parks, then hey, Prince George's County, Maryland, is the thing for you. Charles County has 2 dog parks, and one that I have taken my dog to is White Plains Dog Park, right? So even though they don't have as many, their population, remember, is not as big. So they do have it. They do have those opportunities to enjoy what Prince George's County offer, right? So let me just bring that out. Like, they may not have as many, but they do have the opportunities. They do have teen programs. They do have recreation things, and no matter where you move, let me just say, no matter where you move, you have to make it a point to reach out to your community, to get out in the community and to enjoy it, right? It's just a matter of what is it that you like and what are your preferences, right? For me, I love events I love communities where they gather together, where they have events where somebody else may not like that, right? Again, to each his own. Again, I'm going to lay it out on the table, and then you guys make the decision. But those are the differences between the parks as well as the dog parks between Prince George's County, Maryland, and Charles County, Maryland. All right, now let's discuss home prices in terms of the median home price. And what this is you have, it's kind of like the middle between the higher price points and the lower price points. Which one is in the middle, right? So let me first say that Prince George's County, Maryland has townhomes, condos, apartments, single family homes. They have multifamily, so it may be two homes side by side. So they have a wide variety of different types of homes. Most of Charles County, Maryland, is single family. They have a lot of single family homes. They do have some apartments. Condos, I would imagine they have a few, but when I was there, there weren't. I'm sure there are now. But they have a lot of single family homes and a lot of townhomes, right? And they do have the multi-family homes as well. They were building some when I was leaving. So the point is they do have that. One of the things you need to remember about actually Charles County and also Prince George's County, Maryland, is the fact that some of their single family homes and their townhome, as well as the townhomes and the condos, can have HOA. Now notice what I said. Not only does the townhomes, not only can the townhomes and the townhomes and the condos have HOA fees, which is homeowner association fees, but also the single family homes. So there are some single family homes or communities within Prince George's County, Maryland and Charles County, Maryland that do have a HOA fee. And you need to remember that a HOA fee is just as critical. A condo fee, I don't care what they call it, condo fee, association fee, HOA fee, whatever. That fee is just as mandatory as your just as mandatory as your mortgage. I'm sorry, I'm losing my, it's late, y'all. Just as mandatory as your mortgage. It is not optional. You must pay it. They can foreclose on you, right? So just remember, though, I don't want you to think that when I buy a single family home, it means that it won't have a HOA. That's a lie. Some single family homes communities do have HOA fees and you are required to pay them, right? So let's get right down to it. So again, Prince George's County has a wide variety of different types of home. Remember, their population is more. The median, which is the middle level or the middle ground, whatever you want to call it, the median sold price. Now, I like to look at the sold price, the median sold price, as opposed to the median listing price, because really a seller can list their home for whatever they want. They can ask for whatever amount of money they want, whether it's below market value or above market value, right? They can ask for however much they want, right? To me, the sold price says how much a buyer is actually willing to pay in today's market, right? So I like to look at the median sold price, because the sold tells me, again, what a buyer is willing to pay for. You can list it, a seller can list it for whatever they want, and it can sit on the market for a really long time. So I don't like to look at that, those statistics. I rather look at what has actually sold, right? So the median sold price in Prince George's County, Maryland, according to the Prince George's County Association for Realtors, is $448,000 and $448,000, let's just round it up, is the average sold price in Prince George's County, Maryland. Now, here's what's interesting. The median, according to the Southern Maryland Association of Realtors, the median sold price in Charles County, Maryland is $464. So think about that. Prince George, at one time, Charles County, Maryland, the homes there or the interest rates were cheaper, right? And so people were moving out there because they were like, hey, I can get a better deal, right? But now I think this is really, really interesting. And these are data, this is data from 2024, right? So I pulled the July from Prince George's County, Maryland Association of Realtors, and I pulled the July 24th from the Southern Maryland. But what is really interesting, and again, in Prince George's County, Maryland, the median sold price is $448, whereas the median sold price in Charles County is $464, which I find very, very interesting, because that says that the home values in Charles County, Maryland, they're going up. They are going up, which I find very, very interesting. All right, guys, so on to the libraries. Now, in terms of the libraries, I love the libraries. I love going to the library. Prince George's County actually has 19 branch libraries in Prince George's County, Maryland. Prince George's County has, and actually both Prince George's as well as Charles County. First of all, let me say Prince George's County has 19 libraries. Charles County has 5 libraries. Now, let me just say one thing about both counties is that they have computers at the libraries. And I absolutely love that, because there was a time when I did not have internet access at home. And so going to the library was really necessary for me to either find a job or just be mentally stimulated, get out of the house for a little while, just to be able to get on the computer. At one time, I did not have a computer at home, much less internet, right? So going to the library was a great outlet. Also, I see a lot of students who will come after school and go to the library. I guess they're doing their homework. You know, they usually get at a table. And I absolutely love that. It allows them to focus and concentrate on what they need to do in terms of getting their homework done. So they have computers. You need your library card to be able to use the computer, but you can also use the computer as a guest. So they have stations and computers where you can not only get on the computer, but also print documents. And in Prince George's County, Maryland, I don't know about Charles County, it's been years since I lived there, but they have kind of like an allowance. In other words, you can print up to 10 pages for free before you have to pay. And when you do have to pay, I want to say it's less than $1 a page, but it really depends on if it's color or not. So the computers allow you to, again, not only get on the computer and search the internet, but also to print, and then you can scan, right? You can also scan to email. So if you don't have a scanner at home, the library is the perfect place to do that. Go and get that done. Of course, they have books that you can borrow or donate, guys. A lot of us, we have books at home. You can donate those books that you no longer read or no longer use. Donate them to the library, right? And then also the libraries, both libraries offer, libraries in both counties, I should say, offer story time for children. They offer story time, so they'll have someone sitting there doing an animated story time for the children, right? And so it's so cool to see that, because, you know, they'll have, the parents will bring their small child, and so all of the children are gathered in the front while the parents are on the outside just listening. They're all listening to the story time, right? I absolutely love to see that. I'm an empty nester. I don't have a little one anymore, but at the same time, I still love to see that. I love, because that's family time, right? That's bonding time for the parents, right? So I absolutely love that. And I also love to hear the stories that they tell, you know, when they're reading the story. Also, libraries have meeting rooms that you can rent, and you can have an event. Now, yes, it's going to be a quiet event. It's the library, for goodness sake. I've had a few meetings there, and I cannot remember the cost of the rooms, but I know that they're not more than $100 for sure. It really depends on the size of the room that you get. And I think that it's up, if I remember correctly, it's up to like 2 to 4 hours or something like that. Same thing for the recreation, so you can rent them out for a block of time. So yeah, I used to have home buying seminars in the libraries, right? And then other types of club meetings. Sometimes they have chess club there. I saw where they were having a knitting and a crocheting class, something where it's kind of low key. You can reserve the rooms for that. And like I said, they have small meeting rooms, and then they also have the big auditorium style type of rooms that you can rent as well. But and they also have computer classes. I don't know about Charles County. I know Prince George's County definitely has computer classes where you can learn how to use the computer, especially seniors. Speaking of which, we are moving on to seniors and the senior centers. And of course, we have to talk about seniors, right? Since that is my clientele. So, senior centers in Prince George's County, Maryland. Prince George's County, Maryland has senior centers inside 45 of their community centers, and they have 6 standalone senior activity centers, right? And these centers, these senior centers, will have classes, they'll have day trips, they'll have speakers to come in, they'll have events, special events for the population of 60 and older. And sometimes they're very strict about that. Sometimes they'll let you do 55, but if you're like 53 or 52 or 50, they're like, I don't know about that. Like you're not a part of, you're not there yet, right? So sometimes they're really strict on the age, but they have trips, they have speakers to come in, they have events that are specific to that age, that population. And then they'll have like walking clubs and things of that nature. The other thing about Prince George's County, Maryland, is the fact that they'll have recreation classes specifically for people who are 60 years and older. And then also the community college has community college has classes, again, specifically for people who are 60 and older. And the same thing for the Metro bus. The Metro bus that, I forgot to mention that. I'm going to circle back around and get back to the Metro bus. I totally forgot about the Metro bus in Prince George's County and Charles County. But the community college have classes where people can take classes, and I forgot where I was going with that bus. Anyway, they have community college. They have classes where you can do, so they have trips and things of that nature, walking clubs for things that are specifically for older adults. They also have a Prince George's County Senior Resource Guide. I love that book, and I'm going to be featured in it. I love that resource guide, so I'm going to put the link to that in the comments for sure for you to get it. It has information about assisted living. It has resources where you can reach out, aging in place information, everything well, I don't want to say everything, but a lot of information that's pertinent to people who are 50 years and older is in that guide, right? They also have senior employment fairs for people who are 55 and older. They have an employment sorry, I'm so sorry. An employment fair specifically for people who are 50 and older. Right, so they may have a job fair specifically for people who are 50 and older. And then in Charles County, they have 3 senior centers. Now, let me just say that when it comes to these recreations and senior centers, I don't believe that like if you live in Charles County and you want to ride down to like Indian Head or Clinton, someplace that's on the border, whereas Accokeek is another place where it's on the border of Charles County, where you don't have to drive so far. I'm thinking that they'll let you in. Sometimes they'll see you as a non-resident, or you can register as a non-resident. Now, you may pay a higher price, but you still can get in, right? So even though Charles County only has 3 senior centers, it doesn't mean you can't go over to the other county and take advantage of their resources there or their programs. Also, both of them have government agencies that are specific to senior population, right? The other thing is, like I said, Prince George's County, Maryland has the senior resource guide, whereas Charles County has what's called the Scoop. And it is a senior newsletter. It's called The Scoop. And I'm going to put the link to that in the description as well. All right, now let me circle back around to the bus and the ways to get around. One big thing I noticed about Charles County versus Prince George's County, Maryland. Prince George's County, Maryland has not only I don't know if you would call it no, it wouldn't be national. Not only does it have a bus that commutes between DC, Maryland, and Virginia, so it spans longer, right? And as well as a subway in Maryland. Those things are in Maryland. So you have the in-ground subway, the above-ground subway, the trains, in other words, and then you also have the metro bus that goes between DC, Maryland, and Virginia. But then you also have the PG bus, which is called the bus, right? And it goes in PG only. It just goes in PG only, right? But then Charles County has the Van Go. Now the Van Go doesn't go very far. It just goes kind of like in the circle of the community. And then they usually have like a big depot, I guess a bus depot, where a bunch of the buses kind of meet up at the same time. So you would have to transfer if you're going between communities type of thing. So all of the buses kind of, it's a little red. It used to be a little red van, right? And for me, it gets you to the mall. It takes you to the mall, which is close to where the metro stop is, or it's something, not the metro, the bus depot, because they don't have subways. They don't have trains in Charles County. They only have that in Prince George's County, where you can go further, I guess, if you will, in Prince George's County, Maryland. You can commute between DC, Maryland, and Virginia on the bus, on the subway, and things of that nature. They even have the Peter Pan bus, with Greyhound buses type of thing, and they also have the train, the Amtrak train in Maryland, in Prince George's County, Maryland, where you can go from Prince George's County, Maryland, to other states like New York and things of that nature, right? So that's in Prince George's County, Maryland. Charles County it does not offer that. They do have the Van Go that stays within the community and goes to this bus depot where all the buses gather, and then you can transfer there or walk over to the mall. But that's pretty much it in terms of the bus and the transportation in Charles County, Maryland. All right, guys. So listen, I hope that this has been helpful to you. I tried to give this share this video in a non-biased type of way. Again, I lived in both counties for over 7 years. I am right now living in Prince George's County, Maryland, and to be honest, I wished I had never left, and I'm not leaving anymore. In terms of moving back to Charles County, it's just, I mean, it's my opinion. Things that, everybody's different. So you just have to take the information, take it with a grain of salt, make your decisions accordingly, and decide what's best for you and your family. I just want to give you the information. I want to present the facts so that you can make an informed decision about where you and your family may live. All right, guys. So again, hope this video has been helpful to you. If so, go ahead and share this video, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.